Today is sitting on a shelf in a warehouse somewhere. They are all in the greenhouses at Cottage Farms being well taken care of until it's time to be shipped out to you. So it's not like you're gonna get something that's like half dried out, which we've experienced in the big box stores. Now, what we have next, I love. First of all, I love hydrangeas. These are like the flowers that we have at the weddings. My apartment in New York City, the neighborhood had these just outside. Here you're getting two pieces of what we're calling the blue-eyed baby hydrangeas. Here's an example of what they would look like. For under $30, you have free shipping. And this is another one that I mentioned at the top of the show. Our quantities are extremely limited. This isn't something we could just go back to a manufacturer and say, please make more, because the manufacturer is Mother Nature, right? So we started with about 5,000. We have less than 1,000 remaining here. So if you want gorgeous blue hydrangeas, this is the opportunity to pick it up. And these are great for those of us that maybe don't have full sun gardens,
Absolutely.
Right?
I ask you, what shrub do you have that blooms like this in the shade?
Wow.
Very few. This starts blooming in the summer and goes to the frost, and you're always going to have color on it. As a matter of fact, in my house, I have color from this hydrangea because I have cut it and I've dried it, and I still have this
so you
color.
can dry these.
You can dry these, just cut them. And put a little bit of hairspray on them to hold it in shape, and you can enjoy them year round. This is a breakthrough. I mean, the color alone, this baby blue eye, is very unique, and it's the size of it, Kathy. If you don't have a big sprawling yard, the size of scale might be a problem. This is a small hydrangea, about 3 feet tall by 3 feet wide.
Okay.
So you can use it in a variety of spaces. Like you mentioned, everyone's had a hydrangea. My grandmother had hydrangeas.
They're pretty.
I think Marie Antoinette had hydrangeas. They grow 5 feet tall, but it's the size of these and the color that makes them so special.
I have a question, because we're calling them blue-eyed baby hydrangeas, but I'm seeing in the pictures, I remember you're receiving two pieces for under $30, but in the pictures I saw that some were pink.
Well, they call them baby blue eyes.
Okay.
Okay, and they do change. So you're going to have a look from far away, and then you're going to be able to have a totally different look close up. Because the older flowers change color.
Oh.
And it's also according to the pH. By that, acid or alkaline.
No, I know. I buy a lot of beauty products here at QVC, and we talk about the pH level of the skin.
Well, you can control that with the fertilizer here. This is for acid-loving plants.
Okay.
And that will make it more blue.
I see.
So this is a good fertilizer for this plant. It keeps it blue.
That information, by the way, for that fertilizer, the acid-loving fertilizer, it just popped up on your screen. It's $30, 40 packets, free shipping and handling too. And this is, again, for those acid-loving plants. Can you give me some examples of other plants because it comes with 40 packets, other plants that I might be able to use it?
Well, you could use this on your azaleas.
Okay.
You could use it on your rhododendrons. You could use it on the blueberries that we're going to talk about later on
we have that
tonight.
coming up.
And Kathy, it's so easy to use. You just drop this in, and someone with lovely nails and jewelry like you have, you can just drop it in.
You're not going to get my hands
and
dirty.
And it makes it look like you're not changing your oil. You just put it in and put it in a gallon, and you can feed your plants, and it helps enhance this color.
The color. Now, speaking of that, keeping the hands clean. Not that that's a major thing when it comes to gardening. We could get some gloves and get down and dirty with it. But how do these hydrangeas arrive to me when I place my order?
They're going to come in a pot. See, it's already potted up for you. These are our babies, okay? We do baby these.
Okay.
We're grown in greenhouse. That's why people call up and say, oh, can we get more? No. We estimate how many we're going to grow a year. Look how well branched it is. Okay, in 1 year, you're going to get about half the size. If you take it out of the pot, you can see that the roots are to the side and down to the bottom. All you have to do is plant it even in the soil, and you're good to go. But the branching, we're known for our hydrangeas at Cottage Farm.
This looks really. Have you ever been to the one of those plant stores and nurseries, and you get these things that are all like flimsy and
one little flimsy.
Yeah, it's like one little thing. Now, with these, how tall do they grow?
3 feet tall,
3 feet.
3 feet wide, and I would recommend planting them at about 5 feet apart.
Okay.
Don't scrunch them in too close together because you're going to like spoil the effect. They'll bloom from top to bottom. So give them some space to grow.
Okay.
5 feet apart, good way to plant them.
Now, I just want to remind you, because David mentioned this earlier, we're seeing a variety of colors because you were saying the older flowers and younger.
The name, the painter's palette, it's like a painter's palette, baby blue eyes. The old ones age and they stay on the plant, and the new ones, so you're going to get a two-tone effect. That's why it looks good from a distance. There's very few hydrangeas like that, but if you're sitting there and expecting the bush close up, it's looking at a kaleidoscope of different colors. And our viewers tell us that they like this. They're buying them as a gift plant.
It's a great one.
To give to someone with blue eyes, maybe a boyfriend, maybe a husband, maybe a baby. And it doesn't matter because it goes with boys or girls because
well, it has a little
it's
pink too,
or blue. So, and it's a plant that will live a long time. It's a long-lived shrub.
And it's a perennial.
It's a perennial. It's a shrub. You can use it as a foundation planting.
Okay.
I mean, again, up where it's part shade, this is where it's going to look its best. The autumn color of the foliage is interesting. You know, they say it's good for the summer and the fall, but I almost view this as looking good. Something interesting about this all year long if you consider the cut flower aspect on it.
Right, because you can dry them out.
You can dry
bring
them out.
Bring them indoors.
Good cut flower.
Now, the one thing I do want to remind you of, and this goes for pretty much everything in the show, but definitely for this piece, because we started with 5,000, there's less than 1,000 remaining. It's $30 for 2 pieces, which David recommends planting 5 feet apart so you could get the full effect of the hydrangeas. Remember that these don't grow as tall as what you're used to, so it's very manageable if you're doing it in a pot or in the ground, and then you have all these gorgeous colors. And you were telling me earlier, when I'm gardening, blue goes with everything.
Blue, if when in doubt, as far as my designs, use the color blue. It goes with hots, it goes with pastels, and with this one you have that wonderful thing about change. It's not going to be static. And I do like the height. I think that's very important. What else is important, Kathy, is that this one blooms on old and new wood. That means that if it's a cold winter like this last one, which we thought would never end, and it dies to the ground, it will come back and bloom on new wood.
Wow.
You'll see a lot of the old mop heads on a hard winter, they won't bloom.
Right.
This one will bloom for you. That's very, very important, is the fact that it blooms on new wood.
And they're just stunning. I think they're great to cut and bring indoors too. Featured price here, which is a special low price, under $30, and remember there's free shipping. Now, if you have a Q card, you can break that up to 3 easy payments of $10. And I didn't mention this, but if you're applying for a Q card and making a purchase between now and Thursday, you'll receive a $40 statement credit towards the future. So, I mean, this is basically free, which is fantastic. So now we have something really special for you. This is called the sedum tile. You're receiving a ton of pieces here. It's my pick of the show. The tile is available for $23